Welcome back to Twisted Dice. Today we have a pretty special game of 30k. As you can see, I've got Rich here from Geeks Wargaming.
Hey guys.
What we're going to do is going to do a pretty cool mission. We're going to use the Horus Heresy Weekender, a legacy of mistrust. We'll go through the rules in a little bit more detail, but as you can see what we have here today, we have Death Guard versus Ultramarines. I'm just going to take a little bit of time to talk about our army. We'll show you a few pictures of them and then we'll jump into the deployment. Rich.
Take
it away.
Okay.
What do you got?
So we're going to HQ first. So I'm taking Captain Ramos Vantanos, who's the other named character from the Ultramarines army list. They don't do miniature for him yet, so I've just I've used
cobble something.
Yeah, cobble something together to make him look.
Oh, I could tell.
Thanks. We've got a chaplain in the HQ slots as well. I'm taking 4 troop choices today. There are 3 normal tactical marines. All of them, their sergeants have artificer armor and a power sword. 2 of the squads have nuncio voxes in them. 2 of them will be in rhinos. And then we've also got the breacher squad as well. So these guys have all got red helms because they are the red marked. So if you know about the fluff of the Ultramarines, the helmet at this point is a mark of dishonour. They don't want it, but a band of them get together and are...
Sorry,
you're right there.
Yeah, just keep talking.
Okay, so a bunch will get together and they make a squad, and that's kind of what I've gone with there. They're the breachers. They're up close. They're there to regain their honour and get rid of that red helmet. So that's kind of what I did with them guys. Over to elites, I'm taking apothecary, so be able to dish out feel no pains.
And are you going to stick him in one of the rhinos, or what's the plan?
I will probably stick him with Guilliman because he can transfer it over to Guilliman. He can't transfer it over to the the Cataphractic Terminators because he's not a Primus Medicae, he's only an apothecary. So the Terminators in here, all with chain fists as well.
That's a pretty good unit.
Yeah, they're quite nasty up against tanks.
And I take it you just throw them in the Spartan then?
Yeah, so basically they will be going in the Spartan with probably the chaplain, the apothecary, the Terminators, and Roboute Guilliman as well. All in the Spartan, which has got the flare shield, it's got the armoured ceramite on it, and everything else that a Spartan can take.
Yep.
Over to, well, kind of, not the punch of the army, but a little bit of the speed of the army. I've got my jet bikes.
I've never played against these. These should be pretty good.
So I've taken these in quite a few battle reports on Geeks Wargaming, and they either do really, really well, or just terrible and get shot off the board in the first turn. So it'll be interesting to see how they do today. It depends what their battlefield role is. They're very good nipping around the outside, putting shots down into squidgy troops, holding on to those objectives, because with Guilliman I can give things like implacable advance.
I was going to ask that, so what you play this a lot more than my Ultramarine, so how do you kind of normally play him out?
What I would normally do is I would normally give, so the quad mortars, I would give the interceptor.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So that if anything's deep striking in,
yeah.
I can shoot them, so that comes really handy with things like drop pods. But I probably won't. I might go with implacable advance onto
How far is the intercept rule? Is it there's the shooting range? Or
I think it's 24 inches. I think I might be wrong on that. Okay, cool. It might be their shooting range. So these guys, the quad mortars have got shatter shells. I'm not taking phosphex because I haven't got the right HQ choice. Scorpius Whirlwind, always nice. Keep me out of line of sight and just pepper the battlefield. With the 2 nuncio voxes in, it doesn't matter if this guy hasn't got line of sight.
Yeah,
they will do it for him, and that's kind of my Ultramarines army.
Pretty cool. Right guys, I'm going to tell you about my new Death Guard army. This is the second time I've played it, so I don't really have a huge amount of experience with it. I pretty much bought it in a pub at the Weekender. Guy turned to me, offered it to me, looked at it. Too good a deal to say no, so I said yes please, and to be fair I was going to paint up one myself, so we have another studio army coming in a couple of weeks, which should be a pretty cool preview. But I have about 4,000 points of Death Guard, so you're probably going to see a lot more videos of these and battle reports.
They look nice. Yeah, they look good.
You know, if you get a chance, I'll put some links in the comments to send you. You just commission painting, so if you want to go down that avenue, you have that ability. It's a pretty much dark and grimy army, which I'm kind of growing to love. I'll go through my army. So I've obviously got a Predator with a Plasma Executioner, as well as a Venator in my heavy support slots. I have a Contemptor with Kern's Patterned Assault Cannon. He's just kind of float around the board. I'm using 2 units of veterans, and one unit's got 2 chem flamers, one of them's got 1 chem flamer and a multi-melta, and then I've gone with 4 reapers to give me a little bit more anti-tank punch. I have resisted the ability to give them phosphex. I love phosphex in my Sons of Horus army.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes it just kind of ruins the game a little bit more. So
yeah, it does.
You know, we've thought about this, we've planned it out. We're going to have loads of troops on the board. That's the idea about it. You know, I'll have Mortarion zipping in and out, which would be pretty cool. To finish the complement of my army, I have some Death Shroud as well as some Grave Wardens. I've got Mortarion, and I've also got Callias Typhon. So it's gonna be a pretty interesting game. We're gonna have plenty of buildings on this board today, show you something a little bit different, and then we're gonna have a bit more of an open space, plenty of firing arcs with some rocks around it. So we'll jump into deployment now. Here we are for deployment. As you can see, we have quite a few buildings on the board. The Ultramarines are starting over here more towards the outcrop of rocks, while the Death Guard have chosen to so I basically won the deployment side, so I've decided to go first and I picked the outcrop of buildings. So let us explain the deployment type and how we kind of set up. So you can deploy within 18 inches of your deployment zone. Then what happens is you roll a dice. On a 4 or more, you switch primary deployment zones. These are your second ones, where your warlords are. Now they're 6 inches in the middle. So because we got a 4 or more, Mortarion's now on the side of the Ultramarines, and as you can see over here, Guilliman is pretty close to the Death Guard. Towards the back of the board, we have the Ultramarines who have lined up here and are advancing towards the city. Now, the special rule for this is neither the warlord or the unit they are with may attack or be attacked. So they can move, but they can't be targeted, they can't charge, they can't do a psychic power. So movement is the only thing you can do. So it'll be interesting to see what Guilliman does over here with his unit, as well as what Mortarion can do. And as we all know, Mortarion has a special ability that he can zip around the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll here to see if the Ultramarines and Rich can seize the initiative and go first. So we're looking for a 6. No. 3. Let's see what we do. Come back for turn 1 of Death Guard. Right guys, just to give you a quick summary of the movement and shooting for Death Guard, my 2 rhinos have pushed forward with the veteran squads here. As you can see, I got a double 1 for terrain for this rhino, so it's taken a whole point, it's not moving. The Contemptor has moved up to the front of the building, the Venator has stayed still, and the Reaper quad batteries haven't moved at all. My Predator has moved up to the flank here, just around the side of all of these lovely Ultramarines, and we've kind of surrounded Guilliman in a half circle at this stage, but I'm sure that's going to change pretty quickly. Mortarion has moved up to the front of the board pretty quickly, using his 10-inch move, while Typhon and the Apothecary or the Primus Medicae have moved up here towards the Reaper batteries and the Whirlwind launcher. So let's see what the Ultramarines are going to do now.
So the Ultramarines have gone a little bit, well, I was going to go a bit more aggressive than what I have, but Mortarion being where he was meant the Spartan could not get up and through. He's in the way, so I pulled the Spartan back. The las cannons have got tank hunter ability thanks to Roboute Guilliman, so they shot down into the Venator all the way down the other end of the battlefield, taking off 2 hull points, and it is now immobilised. The Scorpius Whirlwind shot at the Reaper batteries all the way down here, right at the back, inside of the building. I did scatter, managed to clip 1 and the Venator as well. No damage done down there. My Reaper batteries shot down with their shatter shells at the Rhino that is immobilised, taking off the rest of the hull points. The guys obviously bailed out. They were shot at by the jet bikes who have moved up. Volkite Colvin in range shot at them, killing 2 off. Roboute Guilliman has gone aggressive a little bit. He's stayed with his squad. He's moved up. There's a lot of stuff up this end of the battlefield that Roboute can get into and kill. The Terminators, Ramos, the Apothecary and the Chaplain are all in the Spartan still. So bring it on, Mortarion. Bring it on.
Right guys, here we are at the start of Deck Guard turn 2. The Contemptor Dreadnought here has moved around from the side of the building to get line of sight on Guilliman as a squad. The Venator has stayed where it is. It's one hull point left, so I think we'll probably lose that, but just thought it handy to keep close and have a line of sight. The Predator is moved slightly sideways 6 inches to make sure that it can fire its weapon into the squad. I think the plasma here, 3 blasts, will come in handy. 2 veteran squads have jumped out of both rhinos, piled in here to get shots on Guilliman as well, looking for those extra 5 points. The Grave Warden Terminators, they deep struck. They were meant to land here, but they scattered across 3 inches, so avoiding any perils, but puts them in an interesting position. They either going to get pretty shot up, or they may be able to put some fire into Guilliman's squad. There's quite a lot of the Deck Guard facing them now. Obviously we have the Reaper batteries over here in this building, as you can see. So it's a pretty cool line of sight out here. Guilliman has found himself surrounded, but again a Primarch, pretty hard to put down. Mortarion has used his movement. This is turn 2, so he's now over here. He's kind of sizing up these 3 bikes, but quite wary that I don't want to lose him. Ideally being in the middle of the Ultramarines was not something that I planned on. Across the far edge of the board, if we zoom in a little bit more, you can see that Typhon, Callias Typhon, has moved up into the building. He's looking for a charge in on these Reaper batteries here. Not too sure how this is going to plan out, but I'll come back at the end of the shooting phase and we'll update you. So guys, what we have done is the Predator here with the Plasma Executioner has opened up fire onto the Ultramarine squad. 3 small blast templates, we've managed to do 10 wounds, so just going to give it a little bit of a roll off. So 2's to wound, all of them. So 10, 6 up saves.
Yeah, 6 up saves.
Are you going to, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'll dead, sir.
Well, then none of them are on Guilliman, so they're all on that unit. So 6 up saves.
That's not bad.
I save 4 of them.
Nice. So guys, here we are at the end of the Deck Guard turn 2. Just to give you a quick recap of the shooting as well as the assault phase. Pretty much the entirety of the Deck Guard army on the left flank. That includes the Predator Executioner, the Reaper batteries, as well as the Venator, the Contemptor, 2 squads of veterans, as well as some of the Grave Wardens, all pile fire into Guilliman, as well as his unit that he was accompanied by. Managed to take 4 wounds off of these Primarchs. Are pretty tough, but has put the Deck Guard in a pretty cool position, pretty favourable position. Over here, Mortarion has come over. He's swiped out 3 of the bikes with his massive sight, fell them down. Actually fell 2 of them. One's running away slightly, and he's just moved. He's consolidated behind this rock to avoid the majority of fire that would come his way. No doubt next turn. There's still a 10-man tactical squad here. On the far corner, the Grave Warden Terminators, they moved into combat with the Reapers from the Ultramarines. That's Callias Typhon, and they managed to kill all of the crew bar 1, who, due to some pretty good rolling, managed to stay in combat 1 more turn.
So for the Ultramarines, it's time to, well, just try and do a bit more damage. So with that in mind, the tactical squad have gotten out of the Rhino, the speeder bike has rallied, other tactical squad have come around as well. Lots of shots going into Mortarion down here. I will get to re-roll 1s because I'm an Ultramarine, and I'll probably open up with the bolters off top of the Rhino first, so that all of my Ultramarine squads will get their re-rolls of 1s. Rhino with the other squad in has moved up, looking at the cover from behind the Spartan, who has moved along. He has dropped off the cargo of the Terminators, Apothecary, Chaplain and Captain Ramos, looking at going in to the Grave Wardens. Guilliman looking at joining them as well. Scorpius Whirlwind probably will shoot down into the big blob of troops down here, but because there is no line of sight, but because the Nuncio Voxes and the tactical squads can see them, I will only take off the little bit, I'll only take off the scatter, and then las cannons from that Spartan probably shooting down into the Plasma Predator. Mortarion down here, he was shot at by the land speeder, the tactical squad that stepped out of the Rhino, the other tactical squad that's just coming around the rock can just about make him out. Interlocking tactics for the Ultramarines. Shot with the Rhino first, a hit, which means all of my other shots I get to re-roll my ones. There was a lot of fire going into Mortarion. Not one wound done, not one damage. Quite irritating. The Spartan tank using Tank Hunter rule that Guilliman gave him, shot down into the Predator down here. Hull points down to 1. Plasma turret destroyed. It is gone. That is nice. I like that. The Scorpius Whirlwind shot up and over the building using the Nuncio Voxes. Hit and hit hard right in the centre of that building, killing 8 of those veterans off. Just gone. Wiped out. There will have to be a morale check down there for the remaining possibly 2 guys that are alive. And then finally the Grave Wardens down here. Roboute Guilliman, the Terminators, basically that entire squad, went into combat and slaughtered them. 2 Terminators from the Ultramarines pulled down in that process though, unfortunately, and Guilliman did not regrow a wound.
Here we are at the end of turn 3 for the deck guard. Just to recap some of the movement and the shooting. The Predator here has 1 hull point. It has lost its main weapon. It has no other weapon, so it's pretty much out of the game. Hasn't done a huge amount. The Rapier batteries here did a pretty good job of putting some wounds on the Terminators. Unfortunately, I think we only lost 1 Terminator due to feel no pain and that. So what happened was the majority of the Terminators went down here due to the veterans, the Contemptor who moved up on shooting, the Venator managed to kill 1, and then we had a couple of wounds put on by a Phosphex bomb, which Mortarion threw at Guilliman, and then due to crawling fire moved across. As we can see over here, the Grave Warden Terminators haven't really done a huge amount with Typhus, but they are looking at the Whirlwind as it is posing a bit of a challenge to myself in the game. Over here, this flank, I decided to kind of pull Mortarion away. If I can kill Guilliman, who has 2 wounds left, it will be 5 victory points for myself. I am a little bit more comfortable. Seems that we have gotten rid of the Terminators, who I thought could, you know, if they went into that combat next turn, could pretty much pose a big problem. So let's see how we get on in combat and assault for the Grave Warden Terminators, as well as Mortarion versus Guilliman. This should be a pretty epic fight.
So Roboute Guilliman is going to hit first. I've decided to hit with the Gladius in Sandor, the sword, not the Power Fist. So I get to hit Mortarion first. So we are hitting on 4s. 2 misses, 3 hits. So Guilliman now needs 4s to wound, but I get a reroll because the sword has shred. So I get to reroll that one. And what's the strength? 7. So they are all wounded. This is an AP2 weapon, so Mortarion has got 3 saves to make with his Invuln.
So 3 4-ups. I've made 2, so I get 1 wound. So here we are with Mortarion. So 4s to hit in combat. Okay, so he's done 3 hits with 3s to wound. Cool. So we've only done 2 wounds.
So I've got 2 Invuln saves to make for Guilliman.
Do 1 at a time.
I'll do 1 at a time because I get to re-roll the failed first one each turn. So that's okay.
Yep.
That one is okay as well.
Mortarion has It Will Not Die. On a 5 or a 6 he gets a wound back.
Of course he does.
Cool. And as you can see, the Death Shroud Terminators have charged the Whirlwind Scorpius. Let's roll some dice and see what happens. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I've definitely done enough pens to blow it up. They're going to be AP2. Let's see what they do. AP2, so it goes Nova. How far does it explode? 2 inches, so it'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my guys. Maybe the one at the back is 5.
Stop that. Stop. Yeah. So I'm winning on 4s.
Believe so.
3 wounds.
Cool. Of those 3 wounds, 2s.
1 dies.
Feel no pain?
Oh, of course.
No, he's gone.
He's done.
Mortarion
being all on his lonesome, it's time to try and get the weight of numbers in for the Ultramarines. So both tactical squads have come around. Captain Ramos, the chaplain, and the apothecary are going to join into Roboute Guilliman and join in as a unit. So hopefully both of these squads will make it in. These guys are already in. Volkite, possibly looking at hitting some of those veterans, possibly the same with the bolters off that Rhino. With the Scorpius Whirlwind being destroyed, nothing really adventurous to stay in this side of the battlefield. So the Rhino's moved up, the Spartan has moved up. I can make out the Predator with 1 hull point left. I can also make out the Venator with 1 hull point left as well. I need to destroy both of those units because at the end of the day there's a victory points up for those who have the most units left. Let's go shoot some stuff. Some good shooting for this turn. The Spartan did exactly what I wanted it to. Killed off the Venator, killed off the Predator down there. The Rhino shot at the veterans, killing 1 guy off. The jet bike did nothing at all. Into combat, well, into the charge phase. Basically, this tactical squad failed. This tactical squad made it in. So we do have more hits going in on Mortarion. So I decided to hit Mortarion with my power fist this turn, so that if I hit him, he will become concussed and will be hitting me last. But that does mean that I'm unwieldy, so he will be hitting me first. Come on then, Sean, what have you got?
So I'm going to go against your Apothecary, and I'm going to put 5 attacks against him, which will get rid of the Feel No Pain.
It will do.
And then every wound that carries over from him, which is instant death, hopefully will knock out the... You can obviously do your lookout, sir.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I've also got Iron Halos on the Chaplain and Captain Ramos down here. They have got a 4 up in also.
So...
You're going on the Apothecary then?
I am going to go on the Apothecary because that will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But he's an independent character.
He is.
Look out on... Or do I do the attacks and just hope I kill Gilly?
Choice is yours.
Let's go against Gilly.
Oh, he's changed his mind, Internet.
So,
did you hear him?
Fours against Gilly. Cool. So we actually have 1. And of that 1, I have managed to do 1 wound.
So, invuln save only.
Yep.
Which I get to re-roll because the fail of this turn.
Oh.
No, so I take a wound. So I am down to... Actually, and I also get... Or do I get Feel No Pain? Yes, I do. Because the Apothecary
at the end of your turn.
The Apothecary's in that squad.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah.
Apothecary's in that squad, so I do get a Feel No Pain.
But which just, oh, right, yeah, cool.
Which I don't make anyway. Look at those two.
So, Guilliman's next in the challenge. He's going to roll away.
Hitting on 3s. Yep. Power fist time. Hitting on 3s.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, the Chaplain doesn't count this turn. Right, so...
2s to wound.
2s to wound. Oh, only 1 wound. Only 1 wound.
Oh, let's see what happens. So Mortarion 4 up save, and he gets a 6.
He gets a 6. He's made it.
So here we are. Ramos is going to hit Mortarion now. How many attacks he got, Rich?
He's got 5.
Okay, cool.
So with the Chaplain as well. So this is technically their first round of combat.
Yep.
So the Chaplain will count. So hitting on 3s. With the reroll, that is a hit as well. So they've all hit. Now I am just a standard power sword.
You'll be hitting on 4s, will you not? Weapon skill 7.
Oh yes, I will be hitting on 4s. Yeah, well noticed.
Toughness 7.
Toughness. Sorry, strength 6. Tough God. Strength 4 even against toughness 7. So I'm going to be wounding you on 6s. No.
No 6s.
No
Guys, jumping back quickly to the Apothecary next. He's going to roll.
Chaplain next.
Oh, the Chaplain next.
So I'm hitting on 3s. Well, no, I'm not hitting on 3s. Weapon skill 5 against Thingy. They'll be hitting on 4s.
Yep.
So they're re-rolls. They've all
lovely.
hit. I am strength. Strength 4, but then the Croxus doesn't add anything to it, does it? No.
It will do, but it won't be
do.
enough. Okay, so 1 wound.
Yeah, 1 wound.
So guys, we checked the rule book and we realised that the Chaplain has an AP 4 mole, so I managed to make both of those saves.
Yeah, there was 2 wounds put on.
2 wounds put on, 5 and a 6. And over here we have 21 attacks from the Apothecary as well as the squad that are in range. So 4s to hit, 6s to wound.
Ooh, a few misses in here. And then 6s to wound. Oh, actually, with the Chaplain.
Yeah, just roll 3 more if you want. Would they all get it, or just the squad?
Just the squad. So they'll be. Yeah, we should have rolled them
just
separately.
do 3 more for the Apothecary. Okay, they all hit. Cool.
Okay. Right, 6s to wound.
Yep.
1 wound.
Can I use yours?
No, if you really want it.
Hey, look at that. Geeks. Go buy some of those dice. How do you feel about that?
Oh, wonderful.
All of that and not one wound on Mortarion.
Doesn't surprise me.
Brutal.
At all.
Brutal. And Gilly's on 1 wound, but you do get, it will not die. So give it a roll. Oh yes, he's back up to 2 wounds. Liking that. Nice, nice, nice. Turn 4 for the deck guard. The Grave Warden have moved around the building, looking for a charge onto the Rhino over here. I then have moved the Contemptor up to charge into the Spartan. Their flare shield has pretty much rendered the Reaper batteries immune, and then I'm going to try and get my veterans into this combat here, as they are badly needed to put some wounds onto the squad. And we will see how Mortarion and Guilliman duel. Be interesting to see what I can land onto the squads this turn with regards to the Reapers. So moving into my shooting phase, I'll come back, I'll recap how I've got on. So guys, from the shooting of the Reapers, we managed to take a few of the Ultramarines out. I also did 7 wounds on a stray shot that landed in the middle, and I managed to get a couple of hit shots, flip them over. The Veteran Sergeant with the Artifacts Armour passed 7 saves, one after another. What else is worth mentioning? We have moved into the initial stages of the assault phase. The veterans here have made a charge in to help with Mortarion. The Contemptor, pretty frustrated with the Spartan having a lot of fun of its own the whole game, has decided to go in and smash its Power Fist straight into the front there. Hopefully we can get a nice explosion. And then for kind of the moment of the assault phase was when I needed to make a 9-inch charge with the Grave Warden, and I managed to roll an 11 out of nowhere. So pretty much all the assaults I wanted to commit myself to, I have passed, and we have 2 turns left. So pretty much the game so far is all revolving around this epic green rock. And the 2 Primarchs at the face of it, dueling each other, going blow for blow, no one really giving up at this moment. So it'll be interesting to see how the addition of the, I suppose, the tactical squad here will help the command squad as well as Guilliman, and how my veterans will join in and see if they can sway the battle. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty brutal assault phase this turn. Middle of the assault phase, I've managed to run in and pop the Rhino, only to find out that there's 10 Ultramarine tactical squads hiding there. Funny enough, actually, the Contemptor didn't do a huge amount. He managed to punch the Spartan right in the face, only took out the heavy bolters, but did manage to take 1 hull point down. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into Mortarion and Guilliman, the long saga that it is. Again, Rich has decided that he wants to give it a go with the Power Fist, which makes sense. So 3s to hit, 2s to wound. He's only got 2 wounds left, so I'm going to hit another 5 attacks with 50%, so hopefully I can wound, and we will see what happens there. Here we are with Mortarion, 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. Let's see what we can do. So we've managed to hit with 2 attacks, so below average, but I am going to need 3s to wound. So of those, I've managed to do 2 wounds.
Okay. So that one gets re-rolled.
And you pass it, of course.
Save them both. So now I get to hit back with Guilliman.
Yep.
So 5 attacks.
Yep.
It's 4 standard, 1 for 2 close combat weapons because of the sword and the pistol. Hitting with the Power Fist. So I'm hitting you on 3s and then 2s. So 2s to wound.
Cool.
They have all wounds. 4 invuln saves.
Invuln saves. How many can I make? So I made 1. You've done 3 wounds. Pretty good.
And also you can cust. So next round of combat you'll be hitting after me.
Yeah.
Well, actually at the same time.
Cool. So I've got 4 wounds left.
You do. So the next person to attack will be the Ramos Van Ternos. He has a power sword and a bolt pistol, so he gets 4 attacks. Weapon skill 5 against weapon skill. What's weapon skill?
Veterans.
No, I'm not hitting the veterans. I'm hitting Mortarion.
Oh, weapon skill 7.
So I'm going to be hitting even 5s.
Yep.
2 5s. Okay. And then I'm going to need 6s to wound you.
Yep.
Strength 4. No 6s.
End of turn 4 for the deck guard, the assault phase. Quick update is Guilliman managed to do 2 wounds on Mortarion. We managed to get rid of the apothecary and the chaplain with the veterans, and that's about it. Mortarion also managed to make his It Will Not Die roll. He rolled a 4 and then he rolled a 6, so we're back up to 5 wounds, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I did 3 wounds with Guilliman, but because of the It Will Not Die, he minuses 1, so...
But he is concussed.
He is concussed, so that's good.
So let's see what happens for Ultramarines turn 4.
So to quickly sum up the Ultramarines turn, the tactical squad that were blown out of the Rhino have moved back. They then have turned and shot at the Terminators that took them out of their Rhino. No damage done.
Passed all saves?
Yeah, passed all their saves. The Volkite charger on the jet bike, which is up inside of the building, shot down into that guy who's retreating. No damage done. And finally, the surviving tactical Marines from the squad down here have joined into the combat down here. But it is going to be Roboute Guilliman and Mortarion. Now we're going to be hitting at the same time because he is concussed and I am hitting with my power fist. So Sean needs 4s to hit, I need 3s to hit. So you got 2 hits there, Sean. I need 3s to hit. Oh,
One.
Only 1 hit, look at that.
3s to wound, 1 wound.
Okay, I need 2s, you get 1 wound. So, invuln saves only.
I failed mine.
I failed mine as well. So I'm down to 1 wound and Mortarion is down to 4.
You get to re-roll your first.
Oh yes, I do get to re-roll that. Which I fail again. Wait, fail it twice.
Wow. 4
and
to
2.
1.
1, yeah, 1 now.
Back to 1. What has happened is we have rolled all of the veterans as well as all of the tactical Marines. At the end of it, the tactical Marines brought down 2 of the veterans. I managed to do 3 wounds on Ramos, who had 1 wound left. So we have Ramos who has left. We have done Lookout Sir with Guilliman. Rich has rolled a 1 on one of the dice. So on a 1, now remember, he doesn't get to re-roll a normal armor save, which is a 2 up. So a 1 here will be game over for Guilliman.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, let's just roll that dice and see how we get on.
It's all good.
It's a 6, cool. And then, do you want to do one of your tactical Marines then?
Yeah.
He'll just do a normal save.
Oh, look at the spin on that.
Cool.
He's all good.
Cool. Recap what happened at the end of the assault phase there. The tactical Marines managed to take down the 2 of the veterans, and the veterans in turn managed to take the last wound off Ramos. He made several amazing saves, which leaves Guilliman and the tactical Marines against a couple of veterans and Mortarion. So let's jump out of that and see where we go next. I'll give you a quick update. Guilliman has failed to get his It Will Not Die wound back, which is a little bit disappointing, but Mortarion is still concussed, so he can take him out in 1 turn. Turn 5 for the deck guard. We'll go through the shooting pretty quickly as well as the assault and where we're at. So we managed to get rid of the scimitar jet bike with the rapiers with some shatter strike shells. We've managed to kill 6 of the tactical squad over here, but they didn't run or break, so they're still in combat. Nothing on the Spartan in assault, and then over here we have Guilliman and Mortarion at the same time. So we're going to roll off and show you the dice roll for that now.
So Guilliman's going to go first. We are hitting simultaneously because I'm hitting with a power fist again, but I'm going to roll mine first. I'm hitting him on 3s. Oh, 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. So you got 2 wounds. Invuln saves only, mate.
Cool, so let's roll them quickly. 1 wound, 1 save.
So he's down a wound.
I've got 5 attacks. Going to use the red dice here. My loaded dice.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. So 4s to hit. Right, well, we won't be rolling those loaded dice anymore.
So 2 hits.
This is consistently the same every turn. And then I need 3s to wound. So I've managed to do 1 wound. So this could be it. So 4 up invuln.
Oh! With a reroll.
Oh!
So Guilliman falls.
Brutal. But will you put all of the attacks on Mortarion?
He's down to 3 or 4 wounds now. Because I've just taken a wound off him.
You have indeed. So I've only got 3 wounds left.
So I think all of the attacks from the tactical squad are going to go against Mortarion.
Yep.
Cool. I need you to pause that.
So It Will Not Die for Mortarion this turn, and I've managed to get a 6.
So that's a wound back. So how many is he on now? 3?
Yeah, he's up to 3.
3 wounds.
You can do 3 wounds.
So Mortarion is concussed, so he will be hitting last. So all of the attacks on my tactical squad, I'm going to throw into Mortarion. Normal guys first, hitting on 5s. 4 hits, wounding on 6s, 2 wounds.
Double ones?
No, both saved. And then I've got my 2 sergeants remaining with their power swords. 2 hits. It's a 1 and a 2. There's no wounds. So
let's call it there.
That's going to be end of game.
End of game. Let's recap quickly. I'm actually retarded.
Come on, get it on.
So guys, there we are. It's the end of the battle. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It was a pretty thrilling game. The final score was
5-1.
5-1, which would have been a completely different story if Mortarion was taken out. Tell me, Rich, what did you think of the Horus Heresy mission?
That was a really good game, actually, I have to admit. I quite liked that. It was quite confusing to start with, to set up, with the whole switching those middle deployment zones and trying to get a head around what we were doing with the mission to start with. But it was actually really, really good fun.
It kind of encourages you to get in really quickly, like, you know, a lot of missions you can play, you're kind of moving around. The fact that you're forced to go after those 5 points means that you're definitely going after the Warlord. Like, I would like to see this mission in one of the black books. It's definitely...
Yeah, I would say so. I quite like the fact it's quite narrative as well. So the idea is the 2 Warlords are meeting for a parley. They're having... Do you want to do that bit again?
No.
You want to start the whole thing again?
No, you can go. Carry on.
So I quite like the fact that this game is quite narrative. So I like the fact that the 2 Warlords are in the middle having a chat, and then the 2 back lines start opening fire. So everything has fallen down. You can't touch those Warlords, can you? All in the first round, in the first game turn. You just can't touch them.
I was setting mine up to go for turn 1 charges.
Yeah, but
I was
can't
like,
do it.
No, because I think by the time we figured out the rules, what would you do differently if you could do that again? Like, how would you set?
So what would I do differently? I'd probably have myself closer to your Warlord, because I think getting into combat on turn 1. I know you took Mortarion off doing his death leap thing.
Yeah.
All across the board, which, you know, Mortarion is fast, and you've got to try and chase him down. I think maybe have it set up slightly differently, so we were closer at the very start. So at turn 2, you had the option to come after me.
Yeah.
Because I think otherwise we'd have just been locked in combat all game.
But you definitely need a decent squad to put him.
You do.
Because like you're taking your full weight of firepower from like a 2,000.
You are. So if I'd have put my Terminators with Guilliman and had him deployed there, would it have made any difference? Probably not, because you can't take the Apothecary with them. You can't take any other captains. It's just a unit. Invictaris Marines, no. 2-up armor save with a boarding shield save probably wouldn't have made much difference. So it's quite a difficult one to call, but really good fun game. I like the fact that it's, like I said, very narrative. I like the fact it's fallen down. Unit of the game for me, probably Guilliman. He survived a hell of a lot of shots. I know his Red Mark squad died quite quickly, and then he went back. He murdered your Grave Wardens, and then went into combat with Mortarion. If I'd have got better dice rolling, at the end of the day, I suppose this is a dice game, Mortarion should have died. He should have gone. I'm hitting him with the power fist.
Yeah, I think during that game, if you look at it, the 3 wounds that I made back were from the rerolls. It will not die. And most time when I play with any of the Primarch, you might get 1 or 2 a game if you're lucky. Yeah,
I think that reroll of it will not die is very, very good. I thought, you know what, it was a really, really good fun game. I like the fact that you bunched your troops up nice and tight in the middle of the battlefield for me to drop my Scorpius shell on. Thanks for doing that, mate. Appreciate it. So they like killing 8 off in 1 turn.
That is pretty.
It's quite brutal, but yeah, great fun game. I think that Forge Order and Black Library have done quite a good job with that. That mission, I think that is quite a good one.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to pick my star unit as Mortarion, which isn't really a surprise. Not only did he kind of move around the board quite quickly, it's more than I've ever had with any other Primarch. I mean, I've kind of gone into your deployment zone, across your deployment zone, back in, and that was on turn 3. And I couldn't even do anything turn 1.
No. He's irritating.
It's a nice fluffy army. The problem that I find with this, and I'm sure a lot of Death Guard players have experienced, is the Grave Warden, they don't really hit as hard as you expect. No. They're good against kind of troops and deep striking in, but they don't last long.
Yeah.
And the like Typhus and the Death Shroud, they too slow to move around the board. I need to kind of figure a way to move them around a bit quicker.
I think the Ultramarines for the Spartan for the Ultramarines with Tank Hunter, I think that worked really well. It destroyed quite a few of your tanks out there. A Rhino, your Predator, your Venator. It took them all out.
With Guilliman, and I've played my Ultramarines, you kind of want maybe 2 Scorpiuses, so you can get the Tank Hunter, or you do. 2 Tank Hunting Spartans, too much?
Probably. If you do you not want any friends?
Do you want to make friends?
But Mortarion, I faced Mortarion when he's been on his own before, and I've pulled him down quite easily. Wait a fire of shots, you bring him down through his wounds, and then you run into combat, which I did with Guilliman. And it was at the Horror Associate event me and you were teamed up with, and killed him straight off. And it was easy to kill. Yours today was a bit of a pain.
Yeah,
it was
let's be fair.
Bit annoying.
If those veterans didn't get in, then he was probably gone.
Yeah,
those veterans made a huge difference.
Yeah, they would have. You basically gave a meat shield for him.
Yeah.
To go through, but yeah, really good game.
Cool. So guys, really hope you enjoyed that. Another heresy battle. Looking to bring you more. As I said, going to have another painted army for the channel coming very, very soon. So really excited to get that on board, and hopefully we'll have you back again, Rich. So guys, from our side, if you don't know who Geeks Wargaming are, check them out on YouTube. Definitely give them a sub, give them a like, and follow them, and share them as well. Like, share, subscribe.
Yes. What you said.
But definitely like, share and subscribe us first. So.
Well, you first, then us.
Yeah, maybe if you have time.